I heard people on Twitter saying the £5 increase effective from today, I believe, on the DAZN subscription, is DAZN being very aggressive in the price increase. £5 is I'm not sure. I mean, like, look, I'm not here to count anyone's finances. I wouldn't describe it as aggressive. So it's $7.99 a month now to UK and Ireland subscribers. So the new price covers 32 fight nights annually, including 16 matchroom fights, maybe they mean cards, subject to availability, and other original boxing content. They've got European Women's Championship League, subject to availability. And the new price point kicks off this Saturday with Josh Warrington attempting to avenge the devastating stoppage loss to the Mexican Mauricio Lara. It's possible that Warrington can rectify the result. He's an adrenaline fighter. He fights off the energy of the crowd, and there wasn't no crowd there last time. That could make a difference. And he's had way more than enough time to prep for this guy and get the tactics right. Whether he's going to brawl with him or box with him, I don't know. We'll see. I say whether he's going to brawl or box with him because everybody's saying that, he just needs to change tactics and outbox the Mexican. Like it's that easy. I don't think Warrington is the type of guy who can just stay out the way. He likes to have a little bit of a fight, doesn't he? And in that regards, as much as the crowd could work for him by pumping him up, they may also encourage him to fight the wrong type of fight. This guy, Lara, can hit pretty hard. He ain't coming here just to lie down and let Warrington carry his career on happily ever after. He's also getting a full camp to prepare for this. And he didn't suffer the knockout loss in preparation for this fight. I've got Lara favorite to do it again. Some people are comparing this to AJ coming back to avenge his loss to Andy Ruiz, but Warrington doesn't have the physical advantages that AJ had over Ruiz to make them adjustments. I mean, we could be potentially looking at career over another devastating loss. We'll see. However, I congratulate him for taking the fight. It's the right thing to do. Psychologically, you let these things linger on, it becomes harder to overcome. Get back in there. But I don't think he can do it. A lot of women on the card. Ebony Bridges, Hopi Price, and Katie Taylor defending a whole load of belts there. Is she undisputed at lightweight? She must be. Taking on Jennifer Hahn. Conor Benn, obviously, he's got a 12-rounder against Adrian Granados. That was postponed when Conor contracted the coronavirus. But that's back on. That should be interesting. Can't really say Golden Boy have been really carrying their weight recently. It's been mainly matchroom cards on DAZN. What is the future for Golden Boy there? Are they going over to Triller? We know Oscar's going to have his comeback fight on there. I've missed Ryan Garcia. I would have liked to have seen him fight since the Luke Campbell fight. What the f*** are you playing at, man? No Ryan Garcia. Got to see Virgil Ortiz against War Machine. That was good. For this year, we're not going to get no Anthony Joshua or Canelo fights. They're on other networks. Haven't even heard a peep or anything about a fight date for Andrade. Now, a lot of you don't want to see him fight, but I do. I want to see Andrade fight. They're talking about Golovkin is going to fight Murata in Japan in December. That's a year out of the ring since he fought Kamel Zeremeto. In my opinion, wasn't a great challenger. He's had 3 fights since he lost to Canelo in 2018. Steve Rolls, Derevyanchenko, and Zeremeto. You know, I don't think he's been valued for money on the app. Now, I know the Golovkin fans are going to get mad, but that's my opinion. He has not been valued for money on the app. He's fought one decent opponent in 3 years, and that would be Derevyanchenko. He's one of the reasons that DAZN are having to tighten their belt. They've had to pay him so much money for mediocre fights. The fact that you're going to fight Murata over Andrade just says it all to me. DAZN are trying to get him to take the Andrade fight. He's just not interested. So while I'm not going to crap on what DAZN is offering, it could be better. Do you think the increase is reasonable? Or was you expecting it to be more? Like me, I was expecting maybe £10 a month. Devin is a free agent, but he's still working with Eddie. Eddie's trying to get Devin the biggest fight possible. That's what they're saying here on Boxing Scene. The names that are in the running are Rolly Romero and Jojo Diaz. They're saying here, though, Diaz is more keen on fighting someone like Ryan Garcia in the fall. I mean, Diaz is a Golden Boy fighter, DAZN fighter currently. You're waiting for someone who says they have psychological... I don't want to, have a guess at whatever his condition is. But he's having issues outside boxing, and you're waiting for him rather than taking on Devin, who's ready to fight. That's the biggest problem in boxing. Rationalization like that. You know what I mean? So let me think about this. Neither of you want to fight Devin for the title, because Ryan had an eliminator to fight Devin and passed it up. And now Diaz don't want to fight Devin, but you want to fight each other. Romero, well, you have to get past Leonard Ellaby and people like that. I mean, if I was Eddie Hearn, I just wouldn't be looking forward to trying to negotiate with people like that to make a fight. I don't think I'd actually bother, because I'd just be frustrated. To me, it looks like one of them situations because, they have a bit of a rivalry. And it looks like Leonard is really taking it to heart. And it's probably going to end up, let's string Eddie along so he can have egg in his face and not make the fight. Rolly's with the same promotional company who said they wanted to keep all of Tank's fights in-house. Well, why don't Floyd make the Tank versus Rolly fight then? It's a shame ERISLANDY LARA have vacated his regular 154-pound title, kept the regular 160-pound title, and was asking the WBA to order a fight between himself and MURATA. But, the WBA are going to go ahead with the planned unification with Triple G for December. And Triple G has ducked Lara already. Yes, he did. And more than likely, if he beats MURATA, he's not going to be keen to defend against Lara, even though this is mandatory. And I don't think Ryota Murata is in any hurry to fight Lara either. I don't believe so. ERISLANDY LARA versus Chris Eubank Jr. is said to be a possibility. Eubank ranked #1 in the WBA rankings. So Eubank is effectively a Sky Sports fighter. Now he's with Wasserman, and Wasserman are going to be promoting cards on Sky alongside BOXXER Boxer. And he takes on Sven Elba on October the 2nd. And Mike Coppinger tells us that Wasserman Boxing and Sky Sports have struck a multi-fight deal that will kick off on October the 2nd when Eubank takes on the German Sven Elba. Now, what Sky and Wasserman need to do is entice Lara to Great Britain and get the fight over here. But that's going to take bread. Are they ready? And are they willing to back Chris Eubank Jr.? But more than likely the PBC would want to keep the fight in America. So we'll see. We'll see. Oh, Mike Cap has got the scoop. Sources. Oscar Valdez has tested positive for a diuretic, a banned substance. He's scheduled to defend his 130-pound title versus Robson Conathia. Yeah, that's how you pronounce it, I think. On September the 10th, in an ESPN Plus main event. That was his A sample. The test was conducted by VADA as part of the WBC Clean Boxing Program. Full story coming to ESPN. Oh well. What can you say, man? He had that brilliant win against Burchell earlier this year to take the super featherweight title. Now, it's not so much that he beat Burchell, it was the manner that he did it and the finish. And now a lot of people are, a lot of people are going to be questioning how he raised his level to such a performance. He's basically tarnished his victory. Eddie Reynoso under fire, boy. But this time it wasn't the beef, so should have went for the cleanse steak, man. That don't reduce weight. I don't know. Juice. Ask cannoli, bro. Jamel Herring, he bought the science though. Educate yourself for a moment. Diuretic banned substances are commonly used to flush out all other banned substances, not just cutting water weight. As a fellow champion, I respect Valdez, but this is hard to ignore. Scathing dissection from the former Marine, current WBO super featherweight champion. Why is Jamel so tight about the Valdez situation? I guess it's because they nearly fought after he beat Pacquiao, didn't they? And you're thinking, well, could have done the same to me. You know, get all juiced up and then beat Jamel up.
That's cheating.
Let's stick with Jamel Herring while we're here. It's been announced he will take on SHAKUR Stevenson in defense of his WBO super featherweight title on October the 23rd in Atlanta. Muhammad Ali's grandson, Nico Ali Walsh, will have his second pro fight on the card. I haven't actually seen Nico. I don't know if he's any good. I'm not surprised he went with Bob Arum. You know, Don King and Ali didn't finish on the best terms. Business is business, but this goal for everybody who plan on playing both sides. It's either me or him, no in between. That means pick your side and stay there. There is no working with me and Jamal or his team for this fight. It's either me or him. Laughing out loud. Public service announcement. So, a little subliminal shot thrown at Bud. Pick a side, Bud. SHAKUR or Jamel? Well, Jamel is Bud's stablemate. He's trained by Bo Mack. But Bud also works with SHAKUR at whatever gym. All three of them are on Top Rank. SHAKUR sparred with Herring as well. Now, he said LOL in the tweet, so maybe it was tongue-in-cheek. Maybe he's a little stressed. This is arguably his best opponent and his biggest fight to date. There is a bit of pressure on him, and perhaps the stress is manifesting in that tweet. But you know, Bud's a grown man. I don't think he's going to stop messing with Jamel because SHAKUR says so. So SHAKUR will get over it. When the fight's over, he'll get over it. If he doesn't get over it and continues to hold it against Bud, I don't think Bud will give a fuck either. So, wow. So even though Jamel is champion, the WBO have a system where they look at each fighter's last 3 reported purses, and having the WBO World Championship Committee, the power and authority conferred by its governing rules to establish purse split ratios per the applicable provision. It is hereby determined as follows. The purse split shall be 63% in favour of SHAKUR Stevenson and the remaining 37% in favour of Jamel Herring. Jamel is tight. He's tight about it. He said, for the past couple of weeks, I thought the fight was basically a done deal. I've agreed to everything my team brought to the table. So this purse bid comes as a shock. But I'm more blown away looking at the split. This is how they do you when they want you to quit or walk away. Now, the system sucks if you're Jamel Herring. It really does. SHAKUR said, relax. It's business, my man. Yeah, you can say that because you're getting 63%. Now, when they reached the initial deal, they were set to earn at least 1.5 mil, career high paydays. Now, I can't find a result of the winning purse bid, and I don't do maths like that, but I'm sure Jamel won't be taking home that 1.5 anymore. And who won the purse bid? Who bid for that fight there? I'm sure it was only Bob Arum. I mean, they're both top-ranked fighters. Who bid for it? Why would it need to go to a bid? I don't think DAZN bid for it. I don't think Al bid for it. Maybe they did. I don't know. Jamel must be pissed with Bob Arum right now. Must be pissed with him. I wouldn't blame him either. But I'm assuming whoever picked up the bid didn't want to pay out the 3 million, 1.5 apiece. That's 3 million. So maybe they put in a bid for 2.5 or 2. Let's say it was 2 million, the winning bid. And remember, I don't do maths. 63% of $2 million. 1,260,000. That would still leave SHAKUR short from what the original deal was. That would leave Jamel with 740,000. That's half of what he would have got with the initial deal.
So you wanna be a boxer?
Before the purse bid. So September the 11th, Oscar De La Hoya takes on Vitor Belfort, and there's gonna be music on there because that's how TRILLER do it. They say SNOOP is going to be performing with Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye has been dead since the 80s. I'm guessing he's going to maybe perform a song with some Marvin Gaye vocals in there. They may even have a hologram of Marvin. I don't know how they're going to do it. But if I see Marvin on the stage, I'm not going to know what to think. I don't know how they pull that one off. There's another act named Anita, somebody named Lune, Gente DAZN, and others to be announced. The Triller format is not just boxing. It's entertainment. And I don't have no problem with it because that's how they came in the game with that format. It's not meant to be Showtime boxing or HBO boxing. And that's why it hit me today to watch Jake Paul fighting like a journeyman against somebody way lighter than him who doesn't box. And he's talking about beating Canelo, and he's really on a stage that's reserved for actual boxers who fight other actual boxers. It just got me thinking. It really got me thinking. Jordanis UGAS. Difference if there is rematch with Pacquiao is we will be even better prepared. What does that mean, difference? Come on, UGAS. Pacquiao is not going to fight you again after them hands you put on him last time. You can make excuses that this and that wasn't right, that and this wasn't right. His calf muscles were cramped up and tight. What did he say? In my entire career, UGAS was one of the easiest opponents. I personally wanted to take the rematch. Lawrence Okolie, he'll be on the undercard of Anthony Joshua when Joshua defends his 3 belts against Alexander Usyk, making the first defense of his WBO cruiserweight title. He takes on DILAN PRAOVIC. Now, when you probably hear someone who knows how to pronounce his name, it will sound totally different, but that's where we're going right now. Now, he's 15-0 with 12 stoppages, 26 years of age. They haven't got his height and reach or anything listed on BoxRec. He's beat a couple of unbeaten guys with 19-0 records, and another one was 12-0 and 1 draw. His resume, though, is full of fighters with losing records, obscure names I've never heard of. That doesn't necessarily mean he can't fight. But we don't know what he's saying in the ring. I haven't seen him fight before, so I won't make any definitive assessment on the fight until I do a bit of a scouting report. Just because he's fought mediocre opposition doesn't mean he can't fight. So we'll see. Okolie is now 28 years of age, 6'5". His reach has been increased by BoxRec. It's now 82.5, which is actually longer than Anthony Joshua's. I'm sure it was listed at 80 or something before, but you know, it is what it is. It's got big, long reach, big cruiserweight. I was listening to him talk to Danny Flexen, and he said blocking, dodging, and landing. He seemed to be very focused on that. He's been in camp with Anthony Joshua. They didn't spar, but he did do some sparring while he was in camp with AJ. Outstanding performance to pick up the vacant title from Krzysztof Glowacki. 6-round knockout. He looks sensational. Julio Cesar, a Mexican featherweight, has been released from hospital following his fight against Mark Magsayo, a Philippine fighter. Cesar was released on Saturday after he was knocked out brutally in round 10 on the Pacquiao UGAS undercard. It was an up and down fight. Cesar was down in round 1, Magsayo was down in round 5, and Cesar was down for the count in round 10. He needed immediate medical attention. He was taken to hospital. He was kept there overnight. He was released about a week ago, actually. There is no bleeding on the brain, but he does have an orbital fracture. He will need further treatment, however. 28 years of age, but at least he looks to be in the clear for now. Jeanette Zacarias Zapata, another Mexican fighter, is in critical but stable condition. The 18-year-old suffered life-threatening brain damage after getting knocked out by Marie-Pierre Houle, if that's how you pronounce it, in a women's welterweight contest at the IGA Stadium on August the 28th in Montreal on the undercard of Kim Clavel versus Maria Soledad Vargas. Yep, boxing is a very dangerous sport. According to Yvonne Michel, Zapata has improved to the extent that the surgery is not required. Her opponent said she's going to have to get over this and continue her career. For the moment, it's all too fresh. She doesn't want to think about anything but Zapata and her family, who was in Mexico and not able to be by her bedside. I could talk about the WBA and their token gesture of getting rid of all the interim belts, but the regular belts are still there, aren't they? But forget about that. They've mandated Michael CONLAN, the interim champion, to take on the regular champion, LEIGH. Listen, all you fighters with the name Wood, you know. Like I said in the last video. Man, I call no other man Wood. I don't call it Wood nothing. Right? Now, jokes aside, I'm going to call you LEIGH. LEIGH put in a great performance to stop Zhu Can from China. Great performance. They have 30 days to negotiate before it heads to purse bids. I have a feeling that Matchroom and MTK Global, and it says CONLAN Boxing as well, hopefully they'll come to an agreement before it goes to purse bids. It'll probably end up on DAZN. The winner will become the mandatory challenger to take on Leo Santa Cruz. Leo hasn't fought in that weight class since February 2019. His last fight was a crushing 6-round knockout loss to Gervonta Davis last year. Now apparently the organization is called the ABC. And people are saying they've got the WBA a little shook up. Now I'm not too clued up about the ABC, but apparently they reacted to the appalling verdict that went to the Colombian maestro when he took on Mikel Fox. So now the WBA have responded by cleaning up the belts, and I'm sure they're going to try and make Mikel Fox whole after that debacle on the scorecards. I know the female judge who had it wide for Maestro, she's gone. I don't know why the other two ain't gone, because whether they never had it as wide as she did or not, there's no way that fight could possibly have been scored to Maestro. If you know anything about boxing, no way. All the judges should have went. The bigger question is, why have they waited so long? And why have they just stepped in to intervene on this situation? There's a lot more situations in boxing in America where surely they should have asserted whatever authority they have to try and correct a multitude of sins in American boxing right now. But, you know what I mean? Hopefully they're a credible organization and they will start throwing their weight about more when needed. Got to stay on the WBA. Got to be consistent. Because you fuck around, take your eye off the ball, next thing they'll have 10 champions up there. Yeah. As much champions as they have contenders.